Good evening. Paul Walker was at the center of the $2 billion film franchise that sent him on the fast track to fame. Fast and Furious fans live vicariously through his daredevil stunts.
Paul Walker didn't marry the mother of his child. He admitted to having affairs, even with her friends. His family said he dated multiple women at the same time and never defined any of his relationships. However, he also secretly donated $3.5 million to charity, traveled to Haiti with chainsaws and medical supplies, and bought a $9,000 engagement ring for a struggling veteran couple, the man who had trouble committing to one person dedicated to helping thousands. Paul Walker's life was more complex than any movie script. Early life, from child actor to family struggles. Paul Walker was born on September 12, 1973, in Glendale, California, weighing over 7 pounds. His father was a construction foreman earning $45,000 a year, and his mother was a former runway model from the 60s. They raised Paul and his 4 siblings in a small 1,200 square foot home in Oak Canyon, living on a tight budget and making every dollar count. At the age of 4, a family camping trip to Leo Carrillo Beach made Paul fall in love with the ocean. He wanted to stay at the beach with sand between his toes. From then on, the family made monthly trips to the beach, costing about $50 each time, because seeing Paul's joy was worth it. When he was 6, Paul was discovered by a talent scout while throwing a tantrum in a Glendale Toys R Us. 2 weeks later, he appeared in a national Pampers ad, earning $5,000, about $27,000 today. This opened the door to acting. By age 10, he had appeared in over 200 commercials and earned $180,000 to help his family. California law required him to save 15% of his earnings, while the rest helped to pay off their house debt. For the Walkers, acting was a way to survive. Then, at 10 years old, Paul joined the cast of The Young and the Restless, earning $1,500 per episode as the rock star's adopted son. However, his family life was struggling. His parents fought about money and careers, leading to their divorce in 1985. With his father gone, Paul, his mother, and his siblings moved into a small apartment that cost $675 a month. He missed acting jobs and his smile on screen faded. The month his character was written off was also the month the divorce was finalized. In high school, Paul attended Village Christian beginning in 1987 and took a break from acting for 3 years. He focused on marine biology, even dissecting squid during lunch breaks, and achieved 3rd place in a junior surf contest with an 8.7 score. His yearbook quote was, "I'd rather protect one seal than sign one autograph." He had already applied for 5 jobs as a National Park Service ranger, hoping to earn $28,400 a year away from the spotlight. After graduating in 1991, Paul worked at Domino's, earning $340 a week using his mother's old Honda. He took on side jobs, including modeling for Teen Beat, and appeared in a $2,500 California Boys spread in GQ. That summer, a massive storm at Zuma Beach brought in 12-foot waves. Paul decided to surf anyway, but got dragged 200 yards offshore by a rip current. After 7 scary minutes underwater, a lifeguard rescued him. He emerged from the water not frightened, but even more determined. 2 weeks later, he became scuba certified and made his first dive to 60 feet off Catalina. He enrolled at Cal State Long Beach, studying marine biology, but the pull of Hollywood and bills was strong. Catalog jobs paid $800 each, and he continued to study while working, flipping through textbooks between takes. In 2004, he began practicing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, training 3 times a week at 6 a.m. It wasn't glamorous, just hard work, discipline, and bruises. Hollywood rise, from child roles to Fast and Furious stardom. In 1998, Disney asked Paul to star in Meet the Deedles, paying him $150,000. The film did poorly at the box office, but Paul insisted on performing his own jet ski stunts, which almost broke his ankle. While the insurance company was worried, he shrugged it off with a smile. The following year, he got a role as the backup quarterback in Varsity Blues. At first, his accent wasn't proper, which upset the director. To fix this, Paul regularly visited Texas high schools on weekends to listen to coaches and even hired a speech coach for $50 an hour. He had never played organized football before this role. By 2000, Paul took on a darker role in The Skulls, a $12 million thriller about secret societies. He talked to real fraternity members about their strange initiation rituals, which included mock drownings and sleep deprivation. Some of these initiation practices unsettled him, especially the pool scene. He chose not to use a stunt double and dived each take, coming up shaken but feeling it was more genuine. In 2001, Joy Ride increased the stakes. He spent 4 weeks at Fort Benning doing 48-hour no-sleep drills while most actors quit. Paul also hiked through the Moroccan desert, dragging 60-pound gear in 110-degree heat, losing 12 pounds in the process. These survival skills would later be helpful during his time in Haiti. The 2001 hit Fast and Furious changed everything for Paul. He played undercover cop Brian O'Connor, helping the film earn $207 million worldwide and earning $1 million for his role, the same amount he got for the sequel. As the franchise grew, so did his pay. $7 million by 2009, and then $15 million for each of the following 3 films. Instead of spending on yachts or mansions, Paul quietly invested in shark research and marine conservation, saying he was chasing purpose. In 2010, he joined a shark tagging project with National Geographic in Mexico. He helped lift 2,000-pound great whites into cradles for blood tests and trackers, working hard to keep them alive. He felt that creatures in the ocean were more alien than those in space. In 2003, Paul led 2 Fast 2 Furious on his own without Vin Diesel, and it made $236.4 million worldwide. Director John Singleton wanted grit, so Paul trained in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu with Rorion Gracie from 2001, earning his brown belt. The car chases featured real fast driving, with Paul himself adjusting the Skyline GT-R R34's specs. Into the Blue in 2005 allowed Paul to show his passion for the ocean. As diver Jared Cole, he earned advanced scuba certifications and did over 130 dives in the Bahamas, including underwater stunts with Jessica Alba. He also named Coral and completed 60-foot free dives, holding his breath for 2 minutes. During breaks, he organized beach cleanups and donated $20,000 to coral restoration. In 8 Below, 2006, Paul Walker switched from racing cars to using sled dogs. He based his work on a genuine Antarctic expedition from 1958. He spent 3 months training with huskies and did his own scenes with them. Paul adopted 2 of the dogs, Trapper and Missy, and donated $47,000 to the Iditarod. He also helped pay for veterinary bills for older mushers. During the Alaskan shoot, temperatures dropped to -40 degrees. Paul even slept outside with the dogs and treated one for frostbite. The film earned $120.5 million, but for Paul, the real victory was the lasting friendships he made. In 2007, he starred in The Death and Life of Bobby Z, a gritty film with a $12 million budget that wasn't part of a franchise. Playing ex-Marine Tim Kearney, he used his 6 years of jiu-jitsu training and coached Lawrence Fishburne on authentic fight scenes. Paul also performed his own surfing stunts, creating a raw, authentic experience for a low-budget film. Although it earned $6.4 million at the box office, he cared more about the craft than the money. In Hours, 2013, Paul faced a deeply emotional role with no cars. He played a father trying to keep a ventilator running for his premature daughter during Hurricane Katrina. He stayed fully engaged in each scene without breaks, describing it as his most challenging role. The film premiered at South by Southwest in March and was released in theaters on December 13th, just 2 weeks after his tragic accident. Sadly, Paul never saw the final cut. In Fast 5, 2011, the stakes rose sharply as the film grossed $626.1 million worldwide after an $86.2 million opening weekend. Paul played Brian, the mastermind behind a heist in Rio, working with a close team. By this point, he had earned a brown belt in martial arts, training in the mornings before filming. Forbes named him the 6th highest-grossing actor in 2013. In Vehicle 19, 2013, set in Johannesburg, Paul spent 95 minutes mainly in the driver's seat. He shot in real locations, performed stunts, and crashed into a supermarket window. As executive producer, he helped shape the project throughout its development. Director Mukunda Michael DeWill noted their creative freedom, saying, "More than L.A. ever gave." Hours, 2013, showcased his resilience and presented a story of endurance over glamour. The film premiered at South by Southwest in March 2013 and was released on December 13th, shortly after his November 30th, 2013 accident. The film Furious 7, 2015 honored him. His brothers, Cody and Caleb, stood in for him, and the team at Weta Digital used motion capture technology to finish his scenes. The emotional tribute also helped the film earn $1.5 billion, with $1 billion made in just 17 days. Paul owned a garage called Always Evolving with Roger Rodas, which housed over 30 cars, including Ferraris, Mustangs, Porsches, and Skylines. After his 2013 crash, there were legal disputes over ownership, with Paul's father claiming a $1.8 million share. Paul's daughter, Meadow, inherited his $25 million estate at 15, with her grandmother as her guardian. In 2015, Meadow founded the Paul Walker Foundation, focusing on marine conservation, environmental initiatives, and youth support. To honor what would have been Paul's 52nd birthday, they released limited edition shirts to mark the 10-year milestone, with proceeds supporting various causes. The 2018 documentary I Am Paul Walker showed different sides of his life. Paul was flawed yet kind, impulsive yet caring. He experienced both joyful moments, such as shark tagging, and challenges as a father. Cody continues to support Reach Out Worldwide, a charity Paul started. This charity has helped in places like Nepal, Alabama, California, and the Philippines. Their first mission treated 400 patients in just 96 hours. Meadow, who is now a model and philanthropist, continues her father's legacy through her actions. Paul Walker's life was a mix of speed, heart, and depth. He transformed from a child star into an action hero, showing both chaos and quiet heroism. What do you think about the lesser-known parts of his life? Please share your thoughts in the comments. I'd like to hear them. If you enjoyed this deep dive, please like, subscribe, and tap the bell for more real stories. Thank you for joining me. See you next time.